Hello, and welcome to Community Unitarian Universalist Church Online. My name is Jeanette Bailey, and I am one of your worship associates here at the church. Community UU is a faith community that inspires the mind, inspires the spirit, honors religious freedom, and embraces diversity. Our members minister to each other with love and work together for a just society. Our service leader for today is the wonderful speaker and musician, Kiya Heartwood. Kiya returns to us today with an exploration of spirit drumming. Drumming as a spiritual practice has a long and powerful history across many cultures. Kiya Heartwood is a graduate of the Star King School for the Ministry, receiving her Master's of Divinity degree this year in 2020. She has a long career as a musician, speaker, and creator of good in the world. She is based in Austin, Texas, where she is currently serving as a hospital chaplain resident at the Seton Hospital System, as well as the artistic director for the People's Orchestra of Austin. Please get comfortable and enjoy the music and the message for today. And be sure to stay to the very end, because we're going to have a special drum jam from Kiya and our friends at Live Oak UU Church. Thank you. We light this chalice to find inner peace, love for each other, and faith in ourselves. Also to be welcoming to whomever we meet. Be kind to all living creatures. So gather around all this light of hope as we share this time together.
Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. Guide my feet while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Hold my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand while I run this race. Hold my hand while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Stand by me while I run this race. Stand by me while I run this race. Stand by me while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Search my heart while I run this race. Search my heart while I run this race. Search my heart while I run this race. For I don't want to run this race in vain. Race in vain.
Unitarian Universalism is a covenantal denomination. We hold that we do not have to believe alike in order to love alike. In this and every UU community, there are a diversity of personal creeds. But there is one covenant for this church, and each time we gather, we recite it again. Please join with me now. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another.
Our story today is called Drum Dream Girl. How One Girl's Courage Changed Music by Margarita Eagle, with illustrations by Rafael Lopez. On an island of music in a city of drum beats, the drum dream girl dreamed. Pounding tall conga drums, tapping small bongo drums, and boom boom booming with long loud sticks on big round silverly moon bright timbales. But everyone on the island of music in the city of drum beats believed that only boys should play drums. So the drum dream girl had to keep dreaming quiet, secret drumbeat dreams. At outdoor cafes that looked like gardens, she heard drums played by men. But when she closed her eyes, she could also hear her own imaginary music. When she walked under wind-wavy palm trees in a flower-bright park, she heard the whir of parrot wings, the clack of woodpecker beaks, the dancing tap of her own footsteps, and the comforting pat of her own heartbeat. At carnival, she listened to the rattling beat of towering dancers on stilts and the drag and clang of costumed drummers wearing huge masks. At home, her fingertips rolled out their own dreamy drum rhythm on tables and chairs. And even though everyone kept reminding her that girls on the island of music had never played drums, the brave drum dream girl dared to play tall conga drums, small bongo drums, and big round silverly moon bright timbales. Her hands seemed to fly as they rippled, rapped, and pounded all the rhythms of her drum dreams. Her big sisters were so excited that they invited her to join their new all-girl dance band. But their father said only boys should play drums. So the drum dream girl had to keep dreaming and drumming alone. Until finally her father offered to find a music teacher who could decide if her drums deserved to be heard. The drum dream girl's teacher was amazed the girl knew so much, but he taught her more and more and more. And she practiced, and she practiced, and she practiced, until her teacher agreed that she was ready to play her small bongo drums outdoors at a starlit cafe that looked like a garden, where everyone who heard her dream bright music sang and danced, and decided that girls should always be allowed to play drums, and both girls and boys should feel free to dream. This poem was inspired by the childhood of a Chinese African Cuban girl who broke Cuba's traditional taboo against female drummers in 1932 at the age of 10. Milo Castro Zaldariaga performed with her older sisters as Anaconda, Cuba's first all-girl dance band. Mio became a world-famous musician, playing alongside all the American jazz greats of the era. At age 15, she played her bongo drums at a New York birthday celebration for U.S. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, where she was enthusiastically cheered by First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. There are now many female drummers in Cuba. Thanks to Mio's courage, becoming a drummer is no longer an unattainable dream for girls on the island.
Sell the house, give away the money, yo. At first glance that sounds funny, but give me a chance, cause we can do anything. I wanna take you on a motorcycle ride, do the circuit cane in the countryside. We can take the bullet train to the other side, you and me side by side, so we can love deeper, fly higher, see clearer, burn brighter, feel more than we ever did before. Yeah, we can swim oceans, climb mountains, dance like nobody's watching, live life like we never did before. You highs and lows, baby, I got you, yeah. You got me, yeah. Baby, I got you, yeah. You got me, yeah. Baby, I got you, yeah. You got me, yeah. Baby, I got you, yeah. You got me, yeah. Take me, I'm yours, and swing me all across the floor. Shake me down until the sun comes back around. And even when I'm gone, I'll turn our love into a song, and I will sing it on back to you as I come home. So we can love deeper, fly higher, see clearer, burn brighter, feel more than we ever did before. Yeah, we can swim oceans, climb mountains, dance like nobody's watching, live life like we never did before. Through highs and lows, baby, I got you, yeah. You got me, yeah. Baby, I got you, yeah. You got me, yeah. Baby, I got you, yeah. You got me, yeah. Baby, I got you, yeah. You got me, yeah. I got you, yeah. You got me, yeah. Baby, I got you, yeah. You got me, yeah. Baby, I got you, yeah. You got me, yeah. Baby, I got you. Baby, I got you.
This beloved community is a living thing, and we bring much to it by our presence, including our online presence, our love, our caring, our generosity, and our hard work. We may be fed by it in equal or even larger measure. In these uncertain times, we encourage you to give as you are able, so that the good works of our church may continue. So how can you make your donation? There's two ways. You can donate by sending a check to the church building address, which you can find on the front page of our website. You can also donate by visiting our website and clicking on the blue Donate Now button on the front page. On behalf of our community, your generosity is deeply appreciated. Thank you.
Sing through my heart, play through my hands. Let the way be
This past week, our country, and indeed the world, lost a hero and lifelong champion of human rights, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Justice Ginsburg's life and career will be forever etched in history. Community UU of Plano honors and thanks Ruth Bader Ginsburg. May her legacy serve as a lesson in virtue and tenacity for us all.
This morning we're talking about spirit drumming. What do I mean by spirit drumming? I mean drumming that is used in meditation or in shamanic healing practices or in different traditions that usually aren't Christian. Or the early Christians wanted to separate themselves from the pagan groups around them. And the Judaic traditions didn't really use drums a lot. Again, everybody was trying to separate themselves from the pagan people around them who did dance and ecstatic religions where they would play a drum beat for long periods of time and people would go into a trance, or they would dance for hours at a time and that would help them go into a trance. And there are a lot of traditions around the world that do that. In Native American culture, in Siberian shamanic culture, taiko drumming from Japan. There are many traditions, a lot of African traditions. And I think there's a lot of anti-Black elements to our American Protestant and Catholic pushing away drumming traditions. There were many tribes that could send messages over long distances with their drums, talking drums. The slave owners were afraid that the slaves would organize if they were allowed to drum. Nowadays, in the 21st century, drumming is one way you can really grow your church. If you have a praise band, you almost always have a drum kit in there. And many contemporary music situations have some sort of percussion going on. Not everybody can hold still and meditate. I, for one, cannot. Every time I try to walk the labyrinth, I just get bored and walk to the middle. But I need drumming. And what they've done, there's even some scientific studies, medical studies being done. Community drumming in particular, like our drum circle, create a lot of connections between people and entrain them. We all are drums, our hearts. And when we drum together, often the beats come together and our brains actually become more in sync and we become more connected as a community. They've done studies with this, which is extremely helpful for people with depression, with people with PTSD. The very successful studies, it's all out there available to you on the internet should you want to read more about it. A lot of shamanic traditions use a beat that is really common. I became familiar with it from stomp dances in the Cherokee culture, where you have men and women back to back, one in kind of in a line like this. And They wear turtle shells, and the bones from the turtle actually shake inside the shell, and you wear them around your ankle, and it sounds like now, if you do that for hours in this sort of step like this, that's called a stomp dance. And many tribes, there's a oral tradition that when the Europeans arrived in America, the Cherokees were very suspicious because it was only the men. There weren't any women, where in Cherokee culture, women have very strong responsibilities for deciding who are the war chiefs and when they go to war and when they don't go to war. And is tradition of the beloved woman, who is a woman who's fought in battle. And she has a very high place in the councils. You've heard the term bury the hatchet. That's usually decided by a group of women. So drumming in some cultures is only a male prerogative. That's changing as time goes on. But it's interesting that drums have that much power. The actual beat that helps put people in a trance, they found, is usually 200 beats per minute for 15 minutes at a time. And again, it would sound like that. You can make your own rattles. I highly recommend using a pop can. Take a pop can and some dried beans or rice, depending on what kind of sound you like, or make a mix of the two, put them inside an empty soda can, and then put a piece of duct tape over the hole. That's a fabulous shaker. Many of my CDs have that shake on them, and it's a great sound. It doesn't cost anything. The actual physical aspects of drumming help lower your blood pressure, and again, entrain you in a group. One way to get people to be more a community is to sing together or drum together, and I highly recommend that you try it. It's something that can be added to your practices that will help you mellow out and do good work. I have lots of examples for you this morning. Here's some video of from the 1890s of a traditional native dancing and drumming. Here's an example of shamanic culture in Siberia. You might see the connections between Native American, but almost all earth-based religions use a drum, use sweat as a way to get a higher power, sometimes fasting or going on a vision quest, where there's a very famous place in Wyoming where if you climb up there, the Crows say that it was there before they got to Wyoming. It's near Sheridan, Wyoming, and it's a large medicine wheel on top of about 10,000 feet. At the corners of each direction is a 4-foot hole, and that's where people used to do their vision quests, where they would be relatively safe and could fast and put themselves in a trance state. And sometimes people would have shakers or drums with that. You may see that in all kinds of shamanic traditions in South America, Central America, and it's modifying into trance dance culture, go-go culture, if you've ever heard of that, where people would dance. The songs would go for more than 20 minutes, but that 200 beats per minute drum beat, that constant progression is a feature of lots of raves and lots of modern music where they're mixing it. I'm going to play you a little bit of a tribe called Red. That's sort of a mixture of modern dance music and traditional native music. So here's a lot of examples. You can find this activity all around the world, and I think you should check it out.
Remember the way of the wind, and breathe and blow. Remember the way of the fire, sparkle and glitter and glow. Remember the way of the water, and ebb and flow. Remember the way of the earth, and grow. Go in peace.